Have you ever thought about audio captions? They're something almost every show on television has, and they're an integral part of entertainment accessibility, but we don't often actually think about where that all started. The history of captioning, as it is today, started with the Boston television station WGBH, where the first captioning agency, the aptly named Caption Center, was formed in 1972. The station began re-airing episodes of the TV show The French Chef along with captions, as well as some of their news programs. This was a step forward for the deaf and hard of hearing community, and led to further refinement of captions as an art and accessibility tactic that we still use today, for TV, movies, and live theater.
I'm Julia Peterson, and this is Access Design with Global Hive. Today we're going to be talking about open captioning, a way to make sure any show is more understandable and accessible for people at all levels of hearing ability.
There is a difference between closed captioning, which is what we see most often on TV and movies, and open captioning, which is most often used in live theater. Closed captions can be turned on and off by the viewer. Essentially, they're optional. Closed captioning can be used in live theater, and is most often seen in applications that allow an audience member to view captions on their own personal device during a show, such as a tablet or smartphone. Open captions are not optional, and remain visible throughout the entire show, something which is necessary to allow all audience members to fully experience a show. In terms of what it does for live theater, both closed and open captioning are live text displays of all the words and sound effects in a production, including all dialogue and all sound cues such as laughter, a gunshot, or a door opening and closing. These captions can be pre-prepared, matching the exact script for a show and being timed to appear at the right line, or can be presented in real time by specifically trained captioners who work with captioning programs to provide accessibility for even the most unscripted, random show. The most common form of open captioning in live theater is with the use of specific caption screens, placed strategically around the stage in a way that accents the show and provides much needed accessibility. Sometimes these screens will be visible for the entire audience, and sometimes there will be a specific sitting area with the best view of the caption screens for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. For example, in this scene from Global Hive Laboratories' Medusa, we can see the giant screen at the back of the stage on which all dialogue and sound effects are described.
Suddenly she's suspended. Motionless. Poseidon disappears to reveal the priestesses.
Medusa!
What have you done?
As you can see in this scene, no audio cue is left out or paraphrased when it comes to the captions. Captioning is an art form as well as an accessibility tactic, and should be taken very seriously. Captioning is also not a replacement for other accessibility tactics such as ASL interpretation. It is best to ask your deaf or hard of hearing audience which they prefer if your theater is unsure of which they should provide, although providing both is always a great option as well. When it comes to actually setting up open captioning in your theater, things can get a little complicated. Captioning takes skilled workers and specific technology, and isn't always available for some theaters. Thankfully, people like Matthew Bivins are working to change that. Matthew Bivins and Lindsay Jean Drexler are the co-founders of CaptionPoint, a program that allows any theater to easily and affordably run captions for their shows, and use the expertise of the CaptionPoint team to create accurate, descriptive captions and develop their own captioning skills as well. CaptionPoint has actually made its own series of videos on how to get started captioning your own shows, which I highly recommend you check out. In this short preview clip, Matthew Bivins explains some of the technology you will need if you want to get started doing your own captioning.
Doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money to find the hardware you need to get started captioning your theater or other live scripted event. In fact, you may have everything you need already. Let's talk about the gear that you need to provide open captioning at your theater first. To provide open captioning at your theater or other live scripted event, you need 3 basic things. Number 1, something to broadcast the captions on. That's usually a television or a projector. Number 2, you need a laptop or a computer connected to a monitor to both build and run those captions. And then finally, you need a way to connect those two devices, usually an HDMI cord or possibly an Ethernet cable. Of course, there's lots of other considerations after that. The size of the TV that you need for your space, the type of laptop that you're most comfortable with, the length of the cable that you'll need to connect those two, and what kind of cable you would like to use. There's lots of options.
If you want to see more or ask any questions you may have about open captioning, make sure to check out the links I'll be leaving in the description to the rest of Matthew's videos. Captioning is a skill like any other, and it is a skill that should be incredibly valued and important in the theater community. Alongside CaptionPoint are plenty of other opportunities to learn how to caption and provide affordable captioning, including partnership programs with larger theaters that can lend out their captioning equipment for special shows at smaller, local theaters. There's no reason captioning cannot become more common in live theater, and it is a better time than ever to start trying to make it so.
I'm Julia Peterson, and this has been Access Design with Global Hive. Special thank you to Matthew Bivins for allowing us to use his wonderful videos. I'll be leaving a link to his channel in the description, so make sure to check those out, along with some other links to resources on open captioning. Make sure to check out Global Hive on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or on our website at globalhivelabs.org. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time!